actually, like, Q and Dags really, really put me on Nip back in the day, like, hard. I knew who he was, but wasn't into his catalog like that. And, dude, I'll never forget.
I just told the story today to Joe. That's so good.
That day, Dags and Q were over at the crib. We were just, like, messing with some music and whatnot. And got a little Paul Pierce, got a little baked. And we were in the whip going to get some food and put on Nipsey. It was the marathon, right?
It was a marathon, yeah. It was like a perfect day out.
I was like, me being the amateur, smoker that I am, and especially I was, on one. And, man, I heard, it was Top Down, I think. I heard that shit, and I was like, this guy is the greatest rapper of all time. And we just bumped that shit, like, the whole way and back. Shit. And that's, like, still probably one of my favorite projects.
Yeah.
I still listen to that shit all the time. Man, it's hard to believe we've talked about him a fair amount up here because he, especially for our generation, which is, I think, maybe a hair older than some of the listeners, Nipsey was that independent guy for us. Whereas, like, now you got your Russ and, like, Chance. For us, it was like Wiz, and before he got signed to a major, and then it was like Nipsey and then Mac a little bit. But yeah, man, I've always just, at least me personally, he's been that dude, the do-it-yourself dude, and he really practices what he preaches, man. And so as far as hip hop goes, and this climate we're in, as far as ownership and not needing the label and doing all these things, like, he's definitely gonna be missed as a voice for that shit. So, I don't know. You guys got any thoughts on Nip the Great?
Shit, I mean, too many. Like I said, I told my dude Joe that same story earlier today.
Yeah,
and just because I remember it so vividly, spilling water most.
Just pouring some out, dude.
That's real. Some H2O for God. But no, it's just crazy, man. That shit hit me heavy, like really heavy. Like, I was fucking crying last night. I woke up, my eyes were all puffy and shit. It was just like an energy that was just like missing or something, or that you just knew wasn't there. And it just felt fucking crazy, man. I'm gonna miss that dude, but, like, he's done the way that he, like, built his platform with the independent grind, his catalog, like, he will never die. You know what I'm saying? Like, his shit's gonna live forever. But this shit, I mean, I saw a lot of, like, Tupac comparisons, and the comparisons I saw was, like, from people that are kind of our age that weren't really, like, Pac's age when he got killed, but, like, because he was so ahead of his time and taken ahead of his time, it's just like, I could see that type shit, because I'm like, is this what they felt? I don't know, but, man, like, this shit is, you feel like you know them.
And that's what you got to understand about generations too, is it's like, I hate when old heads are like, oh no, no one's like this guy. Well, it's like, we didn't know that guy, so this guy is that guy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think people got to be understanding of that, and even us sometimes with the younger generation, like, they've got their heroes and people they look up to and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. This one, I'm normally, like, I've never met Nipsey Hussle. I don't know him personally, and I'm normally not the one that really feels any type of way about a celebrity, like, passing.
Definitely.
But this is, like, Mac definitely hit me a little bit, but Nip hit me, I don't know. We have so many life memories, like, to Nipsey's music and shit. Like, Bruce, 7 days a week, we used to bump that shit all the fucking time around shows and stuff like that.
I was just playing it for fucking Apollo and
7 days a week.
Yeah. And Mike, we were out in the fucking whip. They hadn't heard it, and I'm like, this was like the shit. Yeah. Just this whole project, all of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I said on Twitter today, but it was like another vivid memory I have is we moved out to LA and worked on the parlay, and I remember just every day I would just walk around the neighborhood we moved into or whatever and listen to the songs I was working on. And finally we got the project done, submitted, all that, and it was right around the time that Crenshaw came out. And I just remember walking around listening to that, thinking about everything. Like, I had never put out an album before, brand new, moved across the country, whatever.
Yeah.
And just like, especially, I know it sounds corny, but especially like being on the West Coast, sunny day, listening to that shit. Like, dude, we lived like 1 minute away from Crenshaw, not by his store, but you know, you're just like, oh, I'm out here, and like, it's crazy. And right away went back and wrote Breathe to one of his instrumentals. And I don't know, man, it's just, when that shit happens to someone that you just have life moments, I think, to connect to the music. Yeah, we didn't know him, but that's what's crazy about music and artists and stuff, is like when you have that connection with it, you really do feel like you knew him to a certain extent. And he was one of the few that he could speak to you in the music and in interviews.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like this vague, listen to his music and I feel this shit. It was like, he'll tell you straight up in these interviews what you need to be doing. And I don't know, man. I just think he was a rare breed.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Not too many real ones like that.
Have you guys heard any of the latest on, last I heard, I guess TMZ posted some footage of it. It wasn't like great footage. But I guess you could actually like see a couple people get shot and go down, but it wasn't like great footage to know. But I think they say they have a suspect or something, not in custody, but they have a suspect.
Someone Nipsey knows.
That's what I heard. That shit's fucked, man.
That's the craziest thing. Is another reason it hits so hard is like, this is somebody who was actually doing what the fuck they were supposed to be doing and then some, and like doing everything the right way from what we could see. And it's just like, damn, like you can't escape this shit. You know, even like with Pac, it was like, okay, everyone knew there was a couple kind of incidents where it's like, okay, maybe some people would be like looking for him or I don't know. It just seemed like Nipsey was just about positive energy. Talked about this shit all the time.
I know, man, and that's what sucks too about like. And granted, we're talking from speculation. Nobody knows exactly what happened, whatever. Hopefully, we find that shit out. But yeah, it seems to be like someone that actually made something of themselves organically, stayed in their neighborhood, made it better, continued to want to do things for the community. He was scheduled to meet with the cops and Rock Nation the next day, like today, to talk about like gang violence and stuff like that, and doing better for the kids. And some fucking senseless bullshit happens. Like
that's like everybody, you know, like you never come back to your hood type shit. It's like, well, fuck my hood if you guys are gonna fuck with me like this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it makes you like, I think we all heard that Game like 30-second snippet driving in his car.
Yeah, that's just fuck.
I haven't heard it. I just read it.
Yeah, it's emotional, man, and it's that type of sentiment of like, you know, Game is super LA like about it, but it makes you be like, man, fuck LA. Like LA, I think he said like LA's on some bullshit. Like it makes you feel that way when it's like this guy who's trying to do better for this community and didn't leave. Yeah, like many people do, and then going forward, how do you blame people that leave?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's like a natural, for most people, I would assume, is like a natural instinct to want to give back to where you come from.
Yeah.
Especially if it's not in the best conditions. It's like, what kind of man would I be, or what kind of person would I be if I like got all this success and didn't look out? It just like, that seems crazy to me. And it's dope that he does it. And it's kind of like sad that I guess more people don't do it. Maybe they do it and they aren't like in the news about it, but it's like,
true.
Nipsey, you know, Nipsey has a shit set up in his neighborhood. He's like buying the block type stuff.
I think that's the cool thing about Nip is there, like you said, I think there's probably a fair amount of people that give back. Yeah. But like they give money and they do this and that's great. And behind the scenes, if you got it, but Nip was in it.
Yeah. Like,
and that it's fucked up because that's super cool. And it's also what got like, seems to be something that got him fucked up, which is whack because that's the dopest part about it.
Yeah. He had the foundation. That's the most important thing. Like so many people infuse stuff without the foundation. He's been around for so long that like he was able to build that solid foundation that everybody respected. And that's the reason why he made such an impact is because of that.
And I think that's what fucks me up too is like someone that seems to be that respected by everybody.
Everybody, seemingly.
could just get did dirty like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
everybody's got enemies.
I know, and obviously, like that last tweet of his was pretty ominous.
Yo,
like
all this shit is like crazy. Just the timing of everything is just nuts.
Yeah, man.
Scary, man.
I don't know, and we'll see. Like I guess for now, I'd rather just wait and see what the fuck happens. I know there's tons of people speculating on all this shit, like all the Dr. CB stuff, and it's like, bro. To me, right now, as we stand today, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
Like, and like I said, there's lots I could get into on that, and yeah, people would probably, that'd be an interesting conspiracy theory stuff, whatever. I don't think right now, personally, we don't know shit.
Yeah.
Nah.
Like, let's
I don't
wait
have
and
the
see.
energy to fucking think of theories and shit right now.
Yeah, let's wait and see how the facts come out, whatever. But
Rest
either
in
way,
peace.
super
Yeah,
sad, man. Nip was definitely one of the greatest, man. I don't really know
That shit's fucking crazy.
how to transition into a pod from that, but I guess what was weird about it too is everyone listens to this pod knows how invested we are in MSU sports.
Yeah.
Just got done watching one of the biggest hoop games in MSU history.
Yeah.
Taking down the #1 team in the nation, literally just got done. Because I had heard in the final minute or so, Nip had gotten shot,
Mm-hmm.
and I was watching the game, whatever, celebrating, like super happy,
Yeah.
and literally we were watching with like my fam and like Mo and Aaron and my sister and Glow. We're all around. We're all celebrating, super happy. We're like, hey, let's go grab a drink somewhere or whatever. Literally got in my car. And I was like, what's going on with this Nip shit? Immediately looked, and the first thing that popped up on my Instagram was some post about, like, RIP Nip. And I was like, you gotta be. Because you even hear about that shit, and you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm an optimist, but he got, like, when you hear he got shot, and it's not that he got killed, I'm like, okay, he's going to be okay.
Exactly.
And then so when I saw RIP, I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, and that shit was right after, like 20 minutes I saw, from when I saw that he got shot to when he died. I'm like, because when I saw he got shot, I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And in front of his store and all that extra shit. And then the next time I looked after the game, I'm like pumped just like you, screaming and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
That shit, I forgot all about the game.
Yeah.
That shit was
bro, we
deflating.
pulled up to go get a drink. Right when I pulled up, Glow and I were walking in, and I hear, Duda, like someone's pulling around. It was Tyler. But I didn't know. I was like, what the fuck is this big ass SUV? Pulls around like a ways away and just stops, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden Tyler gets out and runs up to me, and like he's got his state jersey on. Like everybody knows what's going on around town. But the first thing out of his mouth was like, bro, that Nipsey shit, man. And it's like, that's how crazy that shit is. Like in town when this crazy shit is happening, it's like,
right.
But yo, did you hear about that? Fuck.
That's a great point. I didn't realize it was even like that. Usually,
it is to like hip hop. Like he was doing the same shit we were. At
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
You know, he was a fan.
He's a fan.
Yeah.
I know he's a fan, but I also know he's a hip hop head too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
damn.
Yeah, but
That's
I guess
man.
that's the best way I can transition into something else is that game.
Yeah.
Man.
What a game.
Bro, I was fucking
nervous.
psyched. Like I was so on edge, bro. I was just pacing around trying not to like. I didn't want to get too invested. I was like, there's no way we're not gonna pull it out. Like I think we were down 3 with a couple minutes left, and that I was like, man, whatever it was. But and then, dude, I was down on Goins all game. I was bitching about him. He was giving up rebounds, missing shots. I was like, this motherfucker. And then he pulls that 3, and I'm like,
yeah. That was a big shot.
How did you feel? Dude, I was about to say, like, not even that, but like, how'd you feel like during the game? Just like, do you just enjoy the game?
Yeah. I just like watching good basketball. And that was a good basketball
game. I don't think I enjoyed any part of that game other than the end.
I thought it was a great basketball game. It was back and forth, lead changes left and right. It was just a game of runs.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a good game on pretty much both sides of the ball. I mean, like, obviously, I couldn't believe Goins made that shot either because he had been shooting just terrible most of that game. And then obviously Cassius did what Cassius does and kept us in it, and that was that. I mean, I think Duke defended pretty good. Like, they were making it tough on them. Those high ball screens weren't working for State, which typically Cash gets around a lot of those and starts creating, but he kind of figured it out in the second half and started making plays, and we started getting better looks. And I just thought State played with more energy, really, and just played better basketball all around.
That's one thing I think I've noticed even more this year, and I think part of it was after that Izzo Henry bullshit at the beginning. I've watched the whole tournament, and I've kind of noticed teams give up buckets and don't get buckets throughout the course of a game multiple times based off just lack of energy and awareness, like not seeming like they're just engaged. Right. Whereas you watch Izzo coach teams and you watch State, and it really does feel like they are more intense and engaged than some other teams out there
this year.
And I'm not even necessarily saying Duke, even though I do feel like they were more engaged last night. I think Coach K does a good job of doing that with his team, but I just think there's a lot of teams that are kind of willy-nilly out there, and then you lose a game by one. It's like, damn.
And free throws are always big too.
Yeah, but man, I was hyped about that.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was a good basketball game for sure.
So, Dax, do you think Duke gets the benefit of the whistle?
No, and I'm so fucking stupid. Stupid.
I mean, I'm sure. See,
if we want to go back and like look at every fucking team,
Moti, go back and look at
let's do
every
it. So I got this pulled up here.
I got a compilation.
I mean, what do you say to that? No.
Okay, I'll say this. I went into that game because everyone, I know the storyline, like especially with State fans and whatever. Yeah, Duke gets all the calls. Like, Duke's gonna get all the calls. I went into the game, and I'm really not like that. I went into the game and I was like, I'm not gonna be the ref guy. Like, Duke is a really fucking good team. And dude, I can't. Do you remember, Mo? Because we were watching it together. There was one I think it was it that game? Zion tried to draw like 2 jump balls or something like that. Like, reached in on one end right after we got a rebound, didn't get a foul call. Then we brought it down, did the same thing, didn't get a foul call, and they called a jump ball. And I can honestly tell you, if any other person does that shit in that moment, they get a foul call.
There was one like obvious like reach in type of like going for the steal type of a thing.
You're probably talking about the same thing I am.
Probably, yeah.
But it was 2 in a row, and I was just like, dude, they're gonna make me be that person. And then I was just picturing Dags there, like, oh, not a foul.
I'm sure I can literally go back to every single game in the history of basketball and find this call.
But you know what the issue with me is? It's like, yeah, I agree with that, and that's why I'm normally not like that. But I think this was at a point where Zion either had 1 or 2, and it would have been like a game-changing call, and you just can't tell me that.
So you do want the refs to change the game?
No, I want there to be.
Argue that, like,
no.
Let's do 6 fouls.
Of
so
course,
the game doesn't do change.
100%.
But then that wouldn't change. Then it would have been like getting the second foul, which doesn't change the game.
Let's do 6 fouls. But if it's 5, you can't call the game to keep 1 star in the game. Like, dude, Tillman got knocked out of the game early in the second half with 3 fouls. He was doing an amazing job.
Agreed.
That could have fucking hurt. Meanwhile, Zion has 2 and like reaches in twice and doesn't get a fucking foul call. And it's just like, I'm with you as far as I'll preach all the time. Keep the stars in the game. Like, I don't want to see them sitting on the bench. But as it stands, don't call it one fucking way. And, dude,
the bottom line to me is just consistency. Like, I just want it called both ways.
Yeah,
that's all that I want.
Yeah,
I don't care if it goes towards one team or the other. Like, if it goes to the advantage, just pick a way you're going to call the game and call it that way the entire game.
And it's not even necessarily the teams, because I hate when people just immediately jump to they have more fouls called than us. Yeah, because you play a game.
I don't like
one
that
team might foul more than the other team.
Yeah.
But it's just that when it's like, okay, someone's banging around on one end and nothing gets called, whatever. Okay, I'm cool with that. We're going to play that way. And then on the other end, it's like, oh, touch foul. That's just refs. Like you said, that's every game. But then if people watch, I think there is a factor with Duke that you have 3 top 4 NBA draft picks, and I do think it's just natural in these guys' head that Zion's going to stay in the game. We're not going to be the guys that foul Zion out.
Yeah, everybody wants to see Zion.
I think that's the biggest thing is, first of all, my theme to life is everyone's a freaking human, as you know. I say this shit all the time. So some dudes might legit be fans of these dudes. So they might like keep them in the game, or some people might not fuck with them and try to get them out the game, or like have a little more bias, or like look for things. It's just, it happens all the time.
They're scared.
They do that shit in NFL and like NBA. The stars get the calls. James Harden, you know, he gets like benefit of the
and I guess
LeBron James,
that's probably
shit like that.
That's probably the best explanation. It's not like this. I don't think it's this big Duke conspiracy, but it is. Duke is the college basketball team,
Right.
and it's like the stars get the calls in the NBA. Same thing with college.
Just like you said, those dudes don't want to be the guys, the refs. It's supposed to be about the players.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to make it about themselves, essentially, but you don't want to be the one that like got fucking Zion out first half, 5 minutes in, just because you're like going by the book type shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying is it's just like they need to come into the game and establish that they're calling the game a certain way and call it that way the entire way.
But the problem is, it sounds good, but they're fucking human. And like, and it gets crunch time, and it's
they're
like
machines.
I've been calling it tight the entire game, and it gets crunch time. We're going to the Final Four. The game's tied, and you get a little bit of something,
Bro.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna let him go because it's situation.
Did you guys see Purdue Auburn when the guy blocked a shot in the corner?
The concert.
Yeah, and he caught it.
And he literally
when he
was
stepped
5
out of
feet out of bounds.
Yeah.
And and that's a play you can't review apparently. Like, yo, I understand.
Why can't you review that?
I think you can only review on who it went out on and not like if he was out. Maybe I'm not 100% sure on that, but they said you couldn't review it. But he blocked a shot. And then he was way out of bounds and jumped in the air to save it and threw it back in and never established himself back in or anything. And they never called it. And it was really late, like a one-possession game. And, bro, I understand refs make mistakes. But if we're going to allow instant replay or whatever, let's get the fucking call right at the end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think the replays, like, why do you have so many restrictions on the replay? Not to mention, why the fuck does it take so long?
That's the biggest thing.
Like, that's my biggest
Look
thing.
at it. Like, whose hand was it off of?
Why do we always know at home before they know?
Exactly. Yeah. And there's how many of them looking at how many screens?
And they got the
how slow can we get these down?
Earth.
Like, we got like 240 frames a second. They can't fucking see that shit.
Their shit looks like ours. Because like when it'll go back to theirs, it'll be like them going from like them watching our screen. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like zooms back in. Then they're waiting for them to go back to the replay.
They're like, so they're watching us on the couch.
Exactly. It's like, yo, government, they're doing that shit. Cover up your laptops.
They got the call with McQuaid in the corner wrong at the end of the Duke game. It didn't end up mattering, but they called it Michigan State ball, and it was clearly off McQuaid and gave Duke another possession to try to tie it. If RJ makes those 2 free throws, it's a tie ball game.
Right.
But they could have got that call wrong and no instant replay, and that's just game over like that. That's some shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what they call that? Human error.
Right. And I feel refs on this shit. Like, I understand you make wrong calls, man. Like, it's not an easy job. But if we have safeguards in place to help you, why do we have these dumbass restrictions?
That's what I'm
that
saying.
We can't use
it. Like, we can review this out of bounds play, but not this one.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they just need to speed it along if they're going to do that. Then, look at the thing. We slow this down to unhuman fucking speeds. Like, we can see it in 5 seconds.
I think
and make the call.
I think a lot of whatever sports in general need to start doing the thing where they have the guy in New York or whoever watching the game. He decides. And can decide it faster than having the refs in the game. They got to go over there. They got to deal with the crowd. Right. The crowd's going to go nuts. They're probably yelling shit at them like while they're looking at it.
And they can always be like, if the coaches want to bitch, they can be like, it wasn't our call.
Yeah, right.
It was New York.
I think that would be way easier.
Put them on the phone.
Or give them a fucking shot clock. The players have a shot clock. They have a fucking timer.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you can't figure it out in 30-something seconds, then stick with the original call.
And it kills the momentum of the game, the flow of the game. It's crazy. Well, dude, in our spec bracket, someone's in first with all 4 Final Four teams, which is pretty impressive.
That's dope.
Guess who's in second?
Who?
Mo freaking T.
Let's go to the other person. Woo! Let's go.
Check this out.
Mo T's got Texas
Guess
Tech.
Whose name is right there.
Izzo will win, Zo. Ball is
live.
I
think the number 1 guy has MSU over Virginia, and you have Texas Tech over who? Oh, I think you had North Carolina, maybe.
Yeah, I think I had North
Carolina.
But basically, I think if Texas Tech wins it all, which
they're
not, but you would win it.
Yo, Auburn looks really good.
Agreed. They look tough.
They cannot stop McCormick. That motherfucker's.
Bruce Pearl's a beast.
Yo, he is
I don't
rich
know
French.
I know.
Holy
so
shit,
weird. I've
it's
always
weird.
thought that too.
That shit's crazy.
I like their style of play. They're just tough and they're fast.
They're fast as fuck.
No
And I
fear.
like it. No, and I love. I love
they
teams.
hoist. One pass and a freaking jack.
But it seems like, but they get good shots of it. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like sometimes the Purdue game plan is just like raggedy ass.
Kamikaze Edwards.
I
That
hate
big
that
fan.
shit. Like he's become one of my least favorite players. I was gonna say I'm a hater, whatever.
You're
It's
a
just
hater.
too fucking neon for him, dude. Like
Dude, I
anywhere, no matter who's on him, how many guys.
Doug,
Like
I'm on record
Holy
for saying
fuck.
I've never seen Carson Edwards shoot better than 30%, and then he just went.
yeah, he
absolutely
had a
psycho.
great tournament. So
Yeah,
I mean, shit.
but yeah, no, I
Not
agree
my
with you,
favorite.
dude. Shooting though, like as far as Auburn goes, shooting is 90% just confidence and like green light. I mean, if you're a good shooter already, then it's just like be in rhythm, be confident. Like I don't care if I got 1 inch or 2 feet from the defender. Like if I'm in rhythm, that means everything. If I just have the green light, confident, like that's what I always hated about Izzo in the past is someone would take a 3-pointer 2 steps behind the line and he would bitch him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that is not good for shooters.
Well, I think there's a difference between having a defender on you per se and shooting a bad shot.
yeah.
You can get a good shot with a defender on you. Are you squared up? Are you in rhythm, like
Yep.
you said? Or are you way off balance? Are you fading away? Are you jumping? You running while you shoot or whatever, you know? And that's what I like about Auburn is they get good shots in that way. They're running and gunning, but they get good shots where Carson Edwards is like fucking who knows, like falling down half the time and still chucking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's a difference for sure.
And Auburn gets to the rack.
Yeah, they're tough.
That
They're
point guard
scrappy.
finished the game for him, bro.
Yo, he's
When
good.
they
got some
played Duke
movers.
at the beginning of the season, I liked them. I thought that point guard in particular
Yeah.
was the kind of player I like to watch.
Yeah, they're nice. It'll be a fun Final
Charles
Four.
Barkley.
We got the late game Saturday, I think.
Yeah, 8:40, I think.
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I can actually watch this game with you since it's not Duke. All right, we've had a lot of sports talk. Last week was like all sports, so I got a little bit more sports on here, but we'll switch to some music for a while. Let's see. We got a couple things we could talk about. You guys want to talk about surviving Cardi B?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, jeez.
I watched it.
For those that haven't
right.
heard, Mo, can you
It's a show? Oh, I thought we were just talking.
oh shit.
$50,000 studio time because you gotta pay good engineers, you gotta go to a good studio, and you gotta put in that bread. I did it with my money. So for a bitch to say that I don't motherfucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work, now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. Cause I did it myself. Niggas must have forgot, my nigga, the shit that I did to motherfucking survive. Like, I had to go strip. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drug niggas up and I robbed them. That's what I used to do. Nothing was motherfucking happening
Real
to
one.
me, my nigga. Nothing.
Mona Lisa.
So when bitches motherfucking say that I don't deserve shit, that's when I know that they fucking
Wow.
bugging. 'Cause
She
they do
in the
not fucking
bathtub?
know the shit that I
She just drugged one.
Niggas could take me out. Nobody wanted to help me. Nobody wanted to fucking help me, my nigga.
Nobody.
So you get the picture.
Oh, damn, Cardi.
Give me your thoughts, guys.
Nobody wanted to help her, dude.
Nobody, my brother. Nobody.
First of all, surviving Cardi B is a funny hashtag.
That shit is. It's like it's funny because it's like extra like jokey to me. It's
Yeah.
like what, but that's not a joke.
It
Didn't
is.
matter. But her, I don't know. She shouldn't have said that shit. She was a little too real. She was going
Yeah.
in. You could tell that she is authentic as the person that she presents. I don't agree with like Cosby comparisons. Is pretty much my thing, but
People are comparing that to Cosby.
oh yay, you know how Twitter
I
is.
heard that.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's fucking weird.
I was like, damn, why you say that shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just
Why'd
doesn't,
you
it's
say
not
that?
very bright for one.
I mean, it was from a while ago.
I know.
Right.
Yeah, but still,
yeah.
No, I
You
know.
don't
I'm just
say
saying I
that.
didn't know.
No,
if you
I
knew.
mean, like, yeah, people do dumb shit on Instagram Live every day.
Yeah, but that's next level dumb.
Do you guys think it's a double standard between men and women?
Yeah.
In that instance, yeah. I mean, like you're literally drugging someone to rob them. Like regardless, like whether it's a female or male getting drugged, they're gonna pass out or whatever the fuck, and you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
I mean, you can't like rape a guy.
There
really.
is.
Very
There
easy.
is. I can't explain like why. I think maybe because people expect men to be able to like protect themselves, defend themselves,
Yeah.
take care of themselves. Not take care of themselves like that, but like protect themselves. I'll say that, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, it just seems like less. It seems less malicious. It seems like she didn't drug him to like have sex with him.
Right.
Although, right.
I mean, who knows? But
I wasn't
mean,
there.
Yeah.
But so
Be difficult.
I don't know. It's still like bad,
Let
wrong,
that thing
but
unfurl, dude.
strap up.
No,
know.
I mean, obviously it's wrong. Like, obviously it's bad, and you know, whatever. But I don't know, dude. I can't get on here in front like it like really bothers me because yeah, like you said, we know who Cardi kind of is, and like yeah, is it fucked up? Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I feel.
But dude, it does lead me to like, is there a double standard? Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. I mean, honestly, to me, like
Is what okay?
the double standard.
Oh yeah.
Like there's certain things that it's okay to have a little bit of a double standard.
Yeah.
Like, and it, I don't know, man.
Do
Like,
you have another example?
For what? Like, I guess I'm trying
as far
to,
as like, it's obviously bad, but do I feel the same way Cardi B drugging a dude and robbing him as I would a dude drugging a chick and robbing her? I don't feel as bad. They're both terrible.
I agree 100%.
But I don't feel as
know
bad.
why.
And it's mainly because, dude, like I literally have a topic about this shit with the woman winning the dunk contest. Like there's certain, like, I don't believe that men and women are the same physically.
That is correct.
So as far as just like, I know drugging is drugging. Like that's a different thing. But I just feel that men are more equipped to defend themselves. And so, yeah, I'm not saying it's not fucked up, but I'm just saying like, I just don't feel as bad. I'm sorry.
No, and I mean, and I think that's fine. But that's my whole problem with this whole situation is it's like, I think that's more than a correct way to feel because that's what it is. Like men, for the most part, can defend themselves better than women can. But then you get into all this other bullshit that's in the media today and everything like that women don't want you to feel that way.
Well, fuck that.
So, but only when it is okay, like in this happenstance, that no one wanted to help her and blah, blah, blah. And now we can feel bad for her. But in any other circumstance.
Okay, that's something that I don't fuck with, though, is the whole like, you don't know what I've been through. I had to drug dudes and rob them. No,
Agreed.
motherfucker. You also brag about how much money you started making stripping. Like,
Right.
no, you didn't have to, like, you think Joe Schmo is like, well, you know, I'm not making quite enough money here doing this. Let me go drug someone and rob them.
Right.
Look at what I had to do. No.
Or the person that got drugged and robbed was like, oh, fuck it. You were struggling.
Right. Like, no, it doesn't work that way.
To me, there's too much picking and choosing in what scenario we should believe these things.
That's
and what
the thing is that every situation has elements where you have to. It's like, well, that's that's like the fucking word. Well, what about this? What happened? Like, well, he was already spending money on her, and he already agreed to have sex with her.
Bro, that brings me to the like another awkward conversation that we had on like one of our first podcasts talking about the R. Kelly shit of like, heaven forbid, obviously all this shit is wrong and bad. Any sexual assault, drugging, all this shit is terrible. But if you want to have another conversation like we talked about with the R. Kelly shit of like putting yourself in bad situations, I feel less bad for the dude that wants to go back to the hotel with the stripper and pay for sex and something bad happens to him.
Yeah.
I agree.
You put yourself in a bad situation. Not that that other bad thing is okay.
I agree with
And
that.
like if it got caught and found out, she should go to jail and whatever, all that word. But I feel less bad for you than I do the person that's not getting into some weird
and that's
shit.
the thing. I'm never going to argue about how we feel about a certain situation or whatever. But the bottom line is it's like the biggest thing that's laughable to me is like anybody that justifies their evil doing because somebody else did something evil to them. That's
Yeah, I don't like
No,
that.
for sure.
Fuck that.
For sure.
I agree.
No.
Shame.
For sure.
Exactly. And that's what she's doing.
Or that,
Like,
or what she did.
She's trying to justify her evil act in the case of, well, I had to do this and I had to do that.
Well,
no.
and I do think it gets into like that whole hip hop conversation though too, of like how there's all these men that talk about shooting people and, you know,
Fucking
selling
hard.
drugs and doing all these things and how they overcame the streets in those ways, and no one gives them, in fact, people praise that shit. So I could see people talking about a double standard there, but in my opinion, I do think culture looks at drugging people and like sexual stuff in a completely different way than they look at selling drugs and whatever.
Well, like shooting people and selling drugs, like that's almost like street
Which,
warfare.
and I'm
type
not
of
saying
thing.
it
Like,
should be.
it's
I'm
just-
not saying
it's like how we look at like it's how some people look at war and things like that. Like some people glorify war. Like it's a nasty thing.
Yeah.
But like some people do, but just drugging somebody to take advantage of them or raping somebody or like that's helplessness. Like no one fucks with that.
Yeah.
So why do we fuck with it?
We don't.
We
don't. But it's like why? I can't explain why it's like.
Are you talking about like?
No, I'm like going back to the double standard pretty much. How it's like, well, it's there and so it's okay for some reason.
I just think I personally don't. That's just how I feel. The only thing that pisses me off is the people, like I think Mo referenced, that as far as the double standard goes, if the shoe was on the other foot in the exact same situation, switched man and woman, would just be absolutely in an outrage, but are making excuses for Cardi now.
Right.
So like
That's what pisses me off.
If there's like
if I'm gonna
Chippendales-
find something to piss me
a
off.
Chippendales rapper who used to be a stripper, wasn't getting enough money and used to drug women.
Yeah.
Like agreed to have sex with them, drug them, and take their money.
Yeah. And like I said, personally, do I think both offenses are the same? Like if they both got caught with that shit, should they both go to jail and whatever? Yeah, absolutely. Me personally, I feel worse about the guy doing that because I feel that a girl can't defend herself as well as a guy. That's just my personal, like how I feel in my gut.
Yeah, you can have a different feeling,
Right.
but and that's the thing. Like everybody can feel a certain way about it. The only thing that sickens me is that people are letting the situation justify itself for those certain things. Like actually, if they had to like be the judge or the jury or whatever, they would think that that's okay because of what she went through or the circumstances or anything else. That's to me too far.
To me, it's another call to people for consistency.
You can feel for her. We can have compassion for her, but that doesn't mean that you get away with that.
I think it's just a call for consistency. Like if you're gonna be outraged at Cardi, be outraged when the same shit happens to a woman, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just be consistent. That's all. And yeah, like I said, I feel however you want. But as far as if you're gonna get fucking outraged over something, like just make sure you're kind of consistent in that shit.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. That leads me to the woman winning the dunk contest. Did you guys see this shit?
Yeah.
I did not.
Wait, shout out to Ash for the super chat.
Good look, Ash.
She says he or she, I can't tell.
Gotta be he.
Keep up the good shit, guys. Dags, Q, Mo, and Packy Raps. Only said Packy Raps to make Pack salty.
Fuck you, Ash.
Hey, you get a refund. Woo!
Fuck you, Ash. Catch him.
Good look. Good look.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. So Mo, can you look up the?
Was it college?
It was McDonald's All-American, I think.
Okay.
So high school.
Is that chick that she was on the top 10 for a minute?
Yeah.
Is she
Just
tall
look up
is
her
she?
name. I just wanted
How tall
to
is
look
she?
up her name. 6'1", I think.
Damn.
What am I looking up?
That's impressive.
Just there was a girl that won the dunk
It's
contest.
impressive she can do that.
Yeah,
For sure.
Is it worthy of winning a dunk contest?
Probably not.
That's the discussion to me is like there's two different discussions. Is she dope?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, dude. That is
Yes.
sick.
Fran Belibi?
Fran Belibi.
Belibi?
Yeah, so shout out
Belibi
Fran,
that.
man. Like that's fucking dope. And the dunks she was doing, like I don't know if you guys remember, I had to look it up, but she was the second woman to win the dunk contest.
You want
Candace,
Brittany Griner?
Candace Parker won it.
Oh, wow, okay.
And like as far as if you compare their dunks, she shit on Candace Parker.
Oh yeah.
And like she's dope.
Okay.
So I don't like to have to call this shit out because she's dope and I don't want to take anything away from her. But it goes back to what I was saying about like, dude, men and women are not the same thing. And there's a reason we have women's sports and men's sports. And I hate the PC culture we live in where I watch that dunk contest and you see like the guy that got second place and the dunks he's doing. And you see the dunks she did and won with. And it's like, I'm hearing the commentators and I'm seeing the people react and I'm seeing the judges and I'm like, so we're really all just going to just pretend here.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a pretend game. Yeah.
You know what that makes me think of though, is like when Nate Robinson was in the dunk contest, or when Spud Webb was in the dunk contest.
I was gonna say the same.
Because
Mo,
they're-
go to my computer real quick.
because
Keep talking.
because they're short people, what they do is more impressive, or you just have like a natural bias. It's like, okay, it's easier for the taller person, you would imagine, to impress me with their dunk. But because they are shorter than the average person, like Spud Webb, especially Spud Webb, but the dunks he was doing weren't that like dope, but the fact that he was doing them made him super dope. It just looked
It
cooler.
looked dope. It looked
exactly.
dope.
So it's like, oh, because I know he can't do what the taller guy can, then
But see, I think there's a difference.
I think that's different.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I see Spud Webb dunk. By the way, what I have up is when it was Candace Parker's
Okay, I'm
thing,
like, this
and it
shit
was
like,
against
oh,
J.R. Smith, Josh Smith, Rudy Gay,
ooh.
a couple other
Oh,
people.
not Rudy gave that dunk. So.
Is that Raymond Felton?
No, that's DJ Washington, I
Oh.
think, from Memphis when
Yeah.
Calipari was there. What the fuck was I saying?
You're saying that short.
Oh yeah, I think to
Webb.
me like a Spud Webb, it wasn't that. Oh, I saw him dunk, and since he's short, I'm gonna give it more points.
That's what it seemed like.
To me, like I'm just speaking from me,
Mhm.
it looked doper. It was like that's dope.
Yeah.
That looks dope to me.
Mhm.
Maybe that's how people think when they see a woman dunk. I don't see that.
Mhm.
I just see that wasn't as exciting as the other dunks.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
saying-
because it is.
Here's
it-
Candace.
it-
Like, bro, is it dope? Is it dope that a woman's
I love Candace
dunking?
Parker, by
Yes,
the way.
man. Like,
She's doing a great job in the
dude,
tournament.
that's what sucks about the whole thing is like, to me, it sucks for the women, bro. It's like when you're 5 years old and your dad lets you win in a game of 1-on-1, right? Like, okay, you're 5, whatever, right? But but he let you win. When you're 18, then, and your dad lets you win in a game of 1-on-1, I'm like, no, don't let me win.
Yeah.
That's like patronizing.
Mhm.
Right.
You can't tell me Candace Parker won this dunk contest, but she did.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I
So
feel-
I'm the only one.
No, not
I'm
at
watching
all.
this dunk
Not
contest.
at all.
Um,
Especially this one. This
Yeah, that
is
was dope
fucking-
too. J.R. Smith is a dope dunker, and just in general. I mean,
You can
I
switch
agree
it.
with
You
you.
can switch it, Mo.
I do agree with you.
Turn it to the fucking new one.
I'm always watching tons of dunk contests. I'm always one that thinks that the smaller guys look doper dunking
They do.
but that's I guess my thing is it's like it's never because they're small that just because they're small they're giving them credit for that. It's because they are doing dope dunks that look doper than if the taller guy did the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
because they look like they're flying.
Right.
That's the same shit. Like you can. This isn't like a counterpoint, but kind of to your point. Like, Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, that dunk contest, both those dudes are tall, and that shit was sick.
Yeah.
And Vince Carter's one dunk contest, like they were doing dope enough shit that a 6'10" dude or however tall Gordon is made it look dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, and I guess
So like her being 6'1", that's short.
Yeah.
And she's still dunking, which is fucking tight. But it didn't look like, it wasn't like visually appealing.
Here, you can go to my shit.
And
Mo.
and you know what? That one that she dunked in the game, that shit was way doper.
This was her winning one, I think.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope, man. Like, that's probably the dopest dunk I've seen
For
a
sure.
girl do. She's a high school girl. That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
6'1" high
that's
school
dope.
girl?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? But then, like, all right, you can switch off, Mo. I'll try to find, like, the guy that got second.
Yeah.
Bro, it's a better dunk. Like,
Right.
and that's why I hate even having this. It's such a PC thing, dude, that, like, I literally feel like I can't even say that without being like, oh, bro, that's fucking sexist. Like, why? Because I'm saying what everybody's thinking while they're watching that shit?
No, that's bullshit. Yeah.
I
I don't.
I agree.
Dude, it's a dunk. We can have our opinions. I don't give a shit if you're a man, woman, goat. If you can dunk,
Well, if you're the GOAT, then you win all.
like, dude, it's a dunk. Can we all just agree that?
No, I agree with like the dunk at face value, because you can take the dunk at face value.
Yes.
Because if you just took the ponytail off or kept it on, because some dudes got dressed tied up in the ponytail, and it's just like, then like that dunk. Just in general, I definitely can agree with that. But
That's a good point, though. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's how I feel like it should be. If the women are going to compete with the men, judge them like as if they were a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like we said earlier, we know that men and women are not the same physically.
For sure.
So they can't, it's not like possible for them to do what men
So
do.
have a different women's dunk contest then.
Dude, how many women can dunk?
Exactly. But like, dude, and trust me, I'm not saying this dude's just scarred for life, but dude, that's bullshit that this guy comes in second because he was in it the year that they decided to do the PC route with the women in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's bullshit, man. I guess what I hate more than the actual thing itself is that I look around and like Sports Center, check this out, winner of, and everyone's giving it 10s and I'm like, I feel like I'm going crazy
Right.
because everyone's just so scared.
Right. Well, it's like, dude, like, even, okay, so like a 5-year-old comes up to you and they show you a picture and you say to them that it looks good because they're 5 and they drew something. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
Does that mean we should call the art galleries and be like, we've established a new standard of dope? No. Like that she doesn't get to go into the art galleries because she did something that's dope for a 5-year-old.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're sexist, bro. Go to my
podcast is
screen.
done.
That's real. How is that not real?
Shut this shit down.
It's
We're
a
outta
dunk.
here.
I don't care who it was by.
Go to my screen. Let me show you the second play. It's done.
Are you gonna play it? Or?
It already played on my computer.
Pulling in the videos from the garbage can.
It's the connection.
Oh,
AOL. Y'all know what that is?
probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
He
man.
did a windmill over 3 guys,
Yeah, and
and it looked dope. Yeah.
like I don't know, man. It just fucking bugs me.
I
And,
feel
and,
it.
and,
I-
and
that's
more
what-
and more than the actual thing itself, what bugs me is just how like everybody just goes along with it.
Well, and just like the refs don't want to be that person, who wants to be the person up on the judges table with
me.
like 6? And then you're
Give me a
on
number,
sports-
bro.
No, but that's what's fucked up about it.
But then
Like,
you'll
that's-
never be on TV ever again.
exactly.
You'll never,
Exactly.
That's how it is.
But that's fucked.
Yeah, man.
You'll have respect from some real ones.
I-
though.
You will,
think,
yeah.
like-
That's why Nipsey was so respected.
Yep.
I think like for sure she can participate in it, like
Yeah, I
whatever.
don't see why
But I
not.
agree, if this is a competition, there's a winner and a loser, and whose dunk was doper.
Unless you work for a network who
Well, I know,
Wants-
but I'm not talking about this.
No,
I'm
right.
just
I'm
saying
saying
in
though, like
general.
that's why it happens though. Because
Oh, yeah.
even if you, I'm positive of those 5 or 6 people up there judging it, one of them had to not really believe that was a 10.
They
Oh,
all
oh,
did.
They all did. I guarantee you.
Do you
that.
think so?
Yes.
I think one of them was like, all right, I got to give it a 10.
Honestly,
no, because I think it's the cool culture now that they get to say that they were a part
dude,
of a
honestly,
woman.
honest question. We all have homies that watch sports and like no sports. Think about a big group of them, 10 of them, right? Mm-hmm. Would any of them, if they saw those two dunks, say the women's one was better? Be honest.
Yes.
They wouldn't?
Just to fucking spite everyone else. Because there's always.
But that's not what I'm asking.
But I know someone like that. That's what I'm saying though. There's always a person. That's why I say like 4 out of 5 dentists approve. 4 out of 5. Because there's never. You
need to check your friends then.
Hey, not the close ones. But even it's just like.
Any of my friends that know hoop, I can't think of a single one that would be like, no, do that.
No, I'm not giving that 10. But put him in the right scenario, like at the crib, like yeah. But if you're like in front of a bunch of like
that's
women,
what I'm saying though. That's what I mean. I'm agreeing with you. That's the mob mentality, the group think, whatever, the PC. You and the homie watching this shit at the crib.
Yeah, no, none of them.
None of them. And that's what I'm saying is that's why you can't tell me that all these guys were really just like, if they were at the crib together, just being like, what do you think? And they were like, a lot of them were former college athletes, bro.
And I will say too, you said that. Do we all agree that's the dopest woman dunk we've ever seen?
For sure. Yeah. That's sick.
So I think, would you give it a 10 based off that's the dopest woman dunk I've ever seen?
No, because she's in the dunk contest, dude. Like that was my whole point with the 5-year-old thing, is because the 5-year-old can participate. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that we all have to dumb down our opinion of what's a good dunk because she's 5?
But then also, what if, like with the Spud Webb thing, what if Spud Webb jumps over a 6-foot person and then like a 6'8" person jumps over a 6-foot person?
And that goes back to like,
but that looks
my opinion
cool.
of like, that actually is a doper dunk to me. That looks cool. It isn't like, oh, I like this other one better, but Spud Webb's tiny.
Well, it's like, that's the thing when you talk about the commentators, that's what they do. Is like, that's all they fucking talked about when Nate Robinson did it. I mean, I didn't see Spud Webb, obviously, but whenever someone is short, that's all they talk about is, damn, they're doing this and they're this tall. So it's like, they have that built in. It's like,
that's the only thing someone could, I don't even want to say you could convince me of, but that I could accept is if someone was like, no, that actually looks doper to me because I'm seeing a woman do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess I could tell me
that. If you're going to tell me that, then, but I
just find that hard to believe.
I find that really
which is why I'm saying I think there's at least one of them that thinks that way.
Maybe
that it's like,
but not all of them.
It's like, damn, that was the dopest shit I've ever seen a chick do. I gotta give it a 10 because I mean, you have to dumb. It's like you have to dumb down the scale because you've seen everything from dudes. You've seen it all.
I'm about to enter a laundry contest then.
What? Huh?
What? Damn.
Don't get washed.
Good thing 99% of our audience is men.
Ugh.
I get it.
But the fucking 1% we probably see a lot.
I'm joking.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, whatever.
4 out of 5 approve.
You guys are pussies.
This podcast.
Why can't you enter a dunk contest and they're like, look at this washed up white dude that can't even jump? Holy shit! Like
exactly
he wins because he dunked the ball.
Like when fucking J. Cole
Kim McQuaid win a dunk contest
and just like misses it. He wasn't doing anything crazy, but it's like, holy shit, that's J. Cole doing a dunk. Oh my god, I've never seen him dunk.
J. Cole like 6'4" too.
Yeah, but still, he didn't stretch.
But if they let him in the dunk contest and he did that and they said he wins, I would have a big problem with it.
Oh, I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
But he like to the point of just like
what people would react to.
Yeah, like he'd win.
And that's my problem.
And
like,
I agree.
Damn, you see J. Cole hit
with
that.
you.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the dopest thing I've ever seen a rapper do.
Yeah.
Win.
Exactly.
And then people need to just let shit be what it is. That,
are we in the dunk contest?
That girl is a dope dunker. Like that's the dopest shit I've seen a girl. She's a high school girl, man. Yeah. That's sick. Let it be. Stop with this like, okay, let's get her in there with the men now.
It's fucking viewers, dude.
Yeah.
That comes down to like, all right,
100%.
We'll get more people.
And then fine, like I said, let her in. I have no problem with her being it. But then just judge it accordingly.
I'm on your side, bro.
Fuck.
No,
I don't think anyone has a problem with her being in it.
No.
Right.
But
it's just the pretend world they create around it.
Right. It's like if you have her in it, you can't be like, well, okay, she's not going to do any dope shit. You can't. So it's like I'm gonna give her.
But you got to give her the chance. Like that's the thing is like the bottom line is to me you have to look at it from the dudes that are doing dunks that deserve better. Bro, like, why do we forget about those people?
Candace Parker dunks?
No, those are horrible.
Okay, why did she even accept being in it? Like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go do a one-handed slam every time.
Yeah. See, and to me, that's way worse than this chick. Right
Way
here.
worse, because she did some cool shit and she spiced it up. She got the costume on. Like, I'm for
that's
sure.
Fine.
I got no problem with her being in
shit
it.
is like, come on, you do that at home when you're playing like with the hoop on your door.
Yeah,
you do that, dunk.
Dude.
On the tyke hoop.
I see like high school, like just random ass Joe Schmo rec dudes that I play against at the mat can do dunks like that.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's to me, it's patronizing. It's patronizing to women. Honestly. Here you go. Here's the trophy. Good job.
You should ask.
I don't understand why we poo-poo the guys that lost out on that too.
I mean,
oh, you lost to a chick.
But why? But
no, I know. I'm
that's
not
shitty.
I know what you mean.
I participated in the dunk contest and did doper dunks and lost.
I know.
But how would you look if you came out?
You can't say anything. That's part of the problem.
No. I know.
Right.
But as the crowd, like watching that,
yeah,
I don't get how a woman winning the dunk contest trumps the fact that you robbed other people out of the dunk contest.
Because you've seen way more robberies than you've seen chicks win the dunk contest.
I know. It just doesn't make it right, though, I guess.
I agree. I mean, you have to have the different scales.
Oh, man.
For dunks.
People need to fucking start calling out some bullshit in mainstream. All right. Moti, have you heard about the Spotify-Apple battle?
It's Babel.
I'm assuming you guys have not?
Nope.
About what? Oh, the whole they need to stop. Yeah, I've heard about that.
What
the whole what?
The whole that they need to level the playing field as far as the apps go because
I'll do a little,
they restrict certain things on Spotify.
I'll do a little rundown once you go to my I guess you don't really need the screen. It's just a cool little animation.
We love all things audio, and we know you do too. That's why we love that Spotify is available on a number of devices, giving our fans lots of ways to listen.
I don't like her.
We also know that millions of people love Apple's platform. In fact, so do we. However, we don't love it when Apple comes between you and the things you love to listen to.
Shots fired.
He looks pissed.
If you were to upgrade to premium in our app through the App Store, we'd have to give Apple a whopping 30% of your subscription fee. Apple knows we can't afford to pay that tax and keep our prices low for our fans. So we decided not to use their payment system. But Apple won't let you pay by any other way. Because Apple is both owner of the App Store and Spotify's competitor, they set themselves up to be referee and player in the world of audio streaming. They've been using this power to give themselves an unfair advantage that harms fans like you and companies like us. Apple regularly moves the goalposts and changes the rules of what we can and cannot do. For example, they censor us from sharing discounts or promotions with you. Like our awesome deal to give you 3 months of premium for 99
The animations
cents.
are lit.
And they make it harder and harder for us to fix any problems or bring you the cool stuff we think you'd really enjoy. We'd love to get Siri to play your favorite Spotify jams through all your Apple devices. Apple simply won't allow it.
Dang.
Of course, Apple doesn't put these barriers in front of their own music service. Choice is always a better option. Apple shouldn't use their power to create an uneven playing field that only benefits themselves.
Pass the rock.
All right. I got something to think about.
All right, hit me.
Oh, we only have 12 seconds left.
This is a competitive world.
It's time for Apple to play fair.
Time for Apple to play fair, they say, dude.
So, from what I gather, like, it's on, if you download it from an Apple device, they tax them. Is that what it was, basically? Like, from the App Store?
Yeah, if you purchase a subscription, they make you go through Apple's payment system to process that.
So basically, like, that's just a product of more people own iPhones.
Yes.
Or just people own iPhones. You know what I mean? I don't even think they were saying like any more.
No, they're not saying anymore, but he's right
that's
as
what
far
I mean.
as
like just like
as far as like
that's the most popular. So
that's why this is a big deal. If Apple didn't own the marketplace, this wouldn't be a big deal.
Right.
They won't let us. They're not playing fair.
Well,
I mean,
they take 30% of every music sale we get too.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's kind of like the point. In a way, is to like make your business bigger than theirs.
Monopoly.
You know, not necessarily. I guess that's what's happening, but it's a competition.
That is the point.
You know what I'm saying? So like they're winning it, I guess, as of right now.
And Spotify is asking for
and
them to play
now
fair.
Spotify's like the kid that lost in the driveway and like runs home to their dad and is like,
dude, that was my first reaction when I watched that video too. I was like, okay, what? Like, they literally say in the video, like, and Apple doesn't do this with their own stuff. Doesn't put these barriers in front of their own stuff.
no shit.
It's their own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, sorry that they also own the phones. You want them to like be like, my bad.
Yeah, like Spotify should go strike up a deal with Samsung or something.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
or make their own phone.
It looks like
Right.
The
it's
Spotify phone.
It seems like crybaby type shit.
Yeah, it's
but
just
you
like,
can't, like you
we
said,
need more money.
that's the point, is to monopolize the market. You're not playing fair. This is not, business is not fair.
Right.
It is about the bottom line, which is making the most fucking money.
So I had the same reaction you guys did off just seeing that.
I do like Spotify still though.
Yeah, I use Spotify. I
yeah.
don't really use Apple Music, but
Random,
yeah.
real quick. I was
good.
listening to like all the old Nip mixtapes on Apple Music. How?
Title, right?
Yeah, they got him on Spotify, and they must have just got their paperwork in order.
Yeah, it's all
Over.
over.
But he's like rapping over other people's beats.
Right, they must.
If he got permission from
Right.
him, then
Okay.
he can
Anyway,
do what he wants.
carry on.
But yeah, I had the same reaction as you guys, and I guess Apple responded, but not in as cool of a way.
They're just like, fuck you.
They wrote like a whole.
They didn't get their own chick with the cool
No.
accent. And
Yo, first of all, I didn't
They
like her
should've just
voice at all. Second of all, I thought those
they should have had
animations
Siri
were like,
respond to
outdated
him.
as fuck.
They should have
That shit looked
hired the
horrible.
Monopoly man to announce.
It would've
theirs.
looked better.
That would have been so funny.
But they got to pay money for that.
Guess what?
Guess what? Siri doesn't want to play your shitty song.
She doesn't want to share.
Well, basically,
We asked Siri.
dude, Apple basically said, like, refuted everything, and we're like, it is fair. And one of the only things you're bitching about is we created this app store, which was no small feat, and how it functions and
Right.
how many users we give everyone access to and all this shit. And you use it. And yes, we take some, but only in certain situations. Like they said something like, and it's this long article, so, but they say a full 84% of the apps in the App Store pay nothing to Apple when you download or use the app. They go, that's not discrimination as Spotify claims. It's by design. Because basically like apps that are free don't get charged by Apple. Apps that earn revenue exclusively through advertising, like certain free games and stuff, don't get charged by Apple. When you purchase digital goods outside the app, it's not charged by Apple. When you sell physical goods, including ride-hailing and food delivery services, it's not charged by Apple. They said the only contribution that Apple requires is for digital goods and services that are purchased inside the app using our own secure in-app purchase system. As Spotify points out, that revenue share is 30% for the first year of an annual subscription, but they left out that it drops to 15% in the years after. So Spotify is only paying 15 because they've been in business.
Right.
And they go, that's not the only information Spotify left out about their business. They go, the majority of customers use their free ad-supported product, which makes no contribution to the App Store. So anybody that has Spotify that doesn't pay for the premium and uses the ad-supported, and they say that's the majority.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't get charged. A significant portion of Spotify's customers come through partnerships with mobile carriers. This generates no App Store contribution, but requires Spotify to pay a similar distribution fee to retailers and carriers. And they say even now, only a tiny fraction of their subscriptions fall under Apple's revenue sharing model. Spotify is asking for that number to be 0.
Mm.
And then they called out Spotify for all this new shit where Apple's paying artists and producers and songwriters more than Spotify. And Spotify is taking creators to court right now, even over the splits and shares.
Yep.
And so they were like, they're trying to act like, oh, whatever, and we're the ones giving creators more cuts.
Right.
And like we're creating this app store that everyone can use and blah, blah, blah. Like we're even that's kind of my thing is like, dude,
Like
Apple could, and I would have a problem if they did this, but Apple could literally be like, Spotify, we're not going to let you on iPhones.
Well, they didn't have to create the App Store in the first
Well, I know.
question, not really question, but it just seems like what were they Spotify hoping to accomplish by releasing that video? Like, were they hoping more people would, or were they just trying to like hoe Apple?
I feel like they were trying, and this is complete speculation, but I feel like they were basically trying to press Apple, like in a public relations forum.
Right.
As far as
That's
like,
how
we're
I-
going to get the people on our side. And Spotify is probably at this point the cool music streaming app over Apple Music. And so I think they were trying to leverage that and get those people on their side and the creators and the public and the Twitter warriors and all that stuff. And they made a cool little animation to go with it. It's probably hella people that watched that didn't read the Apple article.
Oh yeah.
And I think they just tried to do that. And Apple was like, no.
That's exactly what I think. It's like, it's just like you just put that out there. You put a little video with it. So it's like, damn, I spent some time watching this video. I'm going to hit the online and fucking tell them I'm pissed.
Like a sob story.
Yeah.
Like,
And
feel
it's
bad
like,
for me.
and then they touched on people that want Siri or what was it, like Alexa or Siri?
Siri.
To play your fucking Spotify or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's
Apple
like,
said,
I want that.
Apple said something about that too. They go, we've worked with Spotify frequently to help them bring their service to more devices and platforms. When we reached out to Spotify about Siri and AirPlay support on several occasions, they've told us they're working on it, and we stand ready to help them where we can. They also said some other shit. They go, we found Spotify's claims about Apple Watch especially surprising. When Spotify submitted their Apple Watch app in September 2018, we reviewed and approved it with the same process and speed with which we would any other app. In fact, the Spotify Watch app is currently the #1 app on the Watch Music category.
Yeah.
Not about to
And
be.
that's true.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason Spotify did it is they're so big now that, yeah, could they lose the PR battle? Yeah, but are they going to lose like when they were smaller, if they were to try to wage war with Apple, Apple could have been like, well, fuck you guys, and just step on them and get them out of the scene.
Right.
Apple can't do that now. They have to play the PR game. They can't be like, all right, no more use of our shit, because people then would be outraged. But yeah, I think they maybe just outkicked their coverage a little bit.
It's stupid. It seems dumb.
I thought the video was horrible. I thought it was horrible. It was like a child video.
Dude, that's why I wanted to get your guys' reactions to the video first. Is like, yeah, after you read the Apple article, it like confirms everything. But I know my first reaction was the same as your guys after the video. It's like, if you can't even just convince me only from watching your content that you're right, you're messing up.
Yeah.
Because at least make me go read Apple's shit to figure it out. But after hearing yours, I just thought you sounded like a whiny bitch.
Yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
feel.
Explain some shit to kids, and it's like, they aren't playing fair.
Right.
Apple's
That's what I'm
not playing
saying.
fair.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. And they're showing all this like little basketball. Like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And her voice was horrible. I'm sorry. Her voice is horrible. It's
It's like bringing up a lot of old arguments too. Like they just opened it up to Siri with a lot of those apps, but their reasoning behind that was good because they were saying Siri didn't even work right with half of our apps. So we wanted to wait until we actually were knowing what we were doing to open it up to all the apps on the App Store. And they do it on a case-by-case basis. And I've seen it go around for years that Spotify's just dragged their feet on a lot of shit. The Apple Watch app, the the Siri integration, like that's what they do. This is like public knowledge.
It definitely made me, like, I was definitely Spotify here, Apple Music down here. It definitely shifted for me. I like using Spotify, and obviously none of this bullshit's going to affect, like, what I use for my own personal, like, whatever I like. Right. But it does make me think of them a little differently. And the fact that...
What do you like about Spotify better? Because I use Apple Music.
Well, in fairness, I haven't, like, given Apple Music this huge shot, but...
It just seems like the exact same thing to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Similar.
You've used them both more than I have. What would be your thoughts on it? Because you still use Apple Music,
like
right?
I think if you care about, like, I don't know, what's the right word? Like, getting a little bit more in-depth information about, like, specific artists or specific, like, playlists and moods and things like that, Spotify's your thing. But if you literally only care about just making your playlist and listening to your songs...
That's all I do. Like,
it doesn't matter.
All I use, pretty much listen to music is when I'm lifting, and pretty much what I do is I just like pick a dope project that I haven't heard in a while or I haven't heard at all and play it during the.
How is like Apple Radio?
Never used it.
Or like
they have some,
how are their playlists?
Their playlists seem like pretty much the exact same.
I mean, they're created the same way that Spotify's are.
Yeah,
because that's one of. Do they have the like personalized for you playlists and stuff?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'd have to give Apple a fair shake, but I've used Spotify and
I mean, it seems like the same thing. Like
the only advantage Spotify has is not even because Spotify is doper. It's because it has a bigger user base, so its algorithm is smarter.
Yeah.
It knows what people like better because it has a larger sample base.
Feds watching.
Did anybody listen to Logic's thing?
No.
Where he's all bloody and shit?
Oh, no. I was talking about
the project.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, he did do that video with the song.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was all right. It was better than the project.
Yeah, I've been hearing what's that Cuddy project, the Speeding Bullet to Heaven?
Yeah.
I'm hearing comparisons to that a lot.
I haven't ever heard of that title.
And that shit's garbage.
I will I'll shoot him some bail as far as he's saying he wrote a book.
Okay.
Logic did, and it came out. And this project is supposedly the soundtrack to the book.
Okay.
And he went super left with it.
What's the book about?
It's called Supermarket.
It's trash.
It's a novel.
It's
like a fiction novel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I haven't read the book, but I did try to look up some reviews and stuff like that. And like basically what I saw, because I thought it was going to be hard to find reviews and stuff, like honest reviews, because he does have such a huge hardcore fan base and shit. I was like, it's just gonna be a bunch of stands, just like. But I tried to find some on shit, and it's like, it sounds like kind of what I expected. Like, this is obviously not a writer, but like good enough. You know, some people really trashed it. And then obviously you saw the stands that just anything he touches, whatever. Yeah. Overall, I was trying to think of the whole like book with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack it's not good. But he tried to do something super different, and you know what? I was ready to hate, but then I was like, Logic actually like puts out shit tons of stuff. Yeah. Like works his ass off, puts out a ton of stuff. So you know what? If someone like that wants to go do something like this and try it out, I have way less of an issue, and I'm not going to hate on it, as opposed to someone that we've been waiting 3 years for your project and you come with something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
real.
So I'm giving him a pass, and I'm saying, you know what? Because I feel this as I get older too. Like you start to think about trying to get into different, like your content maybe gets a little different. You've just been making music. Oh, I'm going to write a book. Like I'm going to do something different. Yeah. But, you know, and you have this fan base, so you can do it, but you're not an author. You don't like. Yeah. So, you know, try it, man. Whatever. I'm not mad at it. If he comes back with some more bullshit, his next thing, that's when you start to have a problem. But whatever, man. Like, I'll have to see. I've thought about trying to read it, but I don't know. I think it'd be more just like a force for content.
It's like, I got to look out for the homie.
Yeah.
No.
Shout out to Blake for the super chat.
Blake, good luck, bro.
$25.
Woo!
Keep the grind up, boys. I'm always going to be a spectator.
Love it, bro.
Hey, Blake, gang shit.
Love
Shout
it.
out to you, bro.
That pays for this mic stand.
Hey, Making
Sick.
progress.
Cha-ching.
Good shit.
What
B.
else we got?
Yo, that kind of makes me think of the Lil Nas X.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, that shit goes hard.
Have you
would
heard
like
about
that
this shit? Yo, if y'all don't know, Dags went through a country boy phase
Went
a long
through?
time ago.
What?
No, man, I mean, he's like a country boy, but not like. It was overalls. I was with him. We was fucking
I'm still listening.
two-step,
Yep.
nappy roots and shit.
I didn't even think about that. That shit is right up your alley, bro.
Oh,
Love
man.
it.
The
So it
country with
made-
the trap, bro.
It made both Billboard fucking charts.
Yeah.
And then Billboard took it off of the country one
Mm,
and said that it didn't meet like enough of the criteria or whatever for country music.
mm.
Do you think it should have been taken off?
Are we gonna get a strike if we listen to it?
Yes.
Because I only listened to like a snippet of it, so I can't.
Shit goes hard.
Let me preface.
about,
let me preface it with that. But I'll try. For the sake of content, I'll have a conversation.
I think yes.
What if they performed it at?
You think yes? What?
It should have been
It should have been what?
taken?
Why?
Taken off.
Yeah. Because I don't think it's country.
I tend to agree,
My thing though is,
but
what the fuck is country? Country nowadays that I've been hearing is like rap, like the rap beats, trap. They sound like trap beats.
Really? See, that's the thing.
that's not false either.
I can't speak on this shit because I don't listen to any country, and I've only heard 30 seconds of this song.
Yeah,
But I will say, the 30 seconds I heard, I didn't think like I heard the lyrics.
did you hear the hook?
Being country. How does it go? Something about riding her.
Yeah, not her.
It.
Says I'm gonna ride. God damn it. I'm gonna ride this thing down the old time.
Yeah,
road.
I heard
I'm
it.
Gonna
Yeah.
ride till I can't. No.
Yeah. So what I
That should
heard,
go.
what I heard is I thought hip hop
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with like obviously country influence in the lyrics and shit. As far as genres go, I've always been like more of the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Like that determines genre more than
Well, the beats are fucking.
it's a trap.
It's a trap beat.
Yeah, and so that's why my
The
first
lyrics are country.
That's
So,
why
like,
my first thought was, but like again,
But-
I don't listen to any country, so I don't know what country
I'm
sounding like today.
confused, though. Like, and I'm with you because I don't listen to it. So when I hear some shit, and I'm like, what is this?
I could pull up like a number of songs that.
Florida Georgia line.
Well, yeah,
They're really having like trap shit.
not trap,
Yo,
but like
the beat is like, okay, this is like something you would rap over.
Really?
That's
Well,
what I think.
Wow.
You could or would. rap
Would,
over.
could. You don't hear country
Definitely
beats
not
and
should.
like, I could spit over this shit, like the traditional country beat.
I think
All types of tempos.
I think there's certain like feels and instruments though that define certain genres, like in the ways that those are used, like 808s in hip hop. Like
Dude.
that's a bass line, but they're used specifically in hip hop music more so than anything else out there.
Mhm.
And it's the way that they're being used in these specific genres that I think define, because if you don't define it as that, then what is a genre? Then we're literally just talking about whether the music is good or bad.
But I got to ask you then, because where I'm coming from is, yeah, I agree with you. Hearing the snippet I heard of that song, I would have said hip hop. Do you listen to any country?
I mean, I don't listen regularly. I know what country
Do you
is.
ever?
I mean, yeah, like
Name one country song.
what you mean for my pleasure? No.
But that's what I'm saying. So as far as, yeah, you can speak on this song and what your thoughts on it are. But I think what Q's saying is, what about these other country songs out there? Why are they definitely country
All
and
right.
not something else?
Yeah.
And here's our expert to give us the answer.
thank you. God damn.
Where's your mason jar?
No, but I listen to country, like I said before, I listen to country more than rap, probably, on a regular basis. And
That's when we started becoming shitty friends.
like you said, I would say like a number of country songs now have incorporated elements of other genres of music for sure. Like Taylor Swift is just a pop artist. She's not a
Yeah.
country artist. Whatever. That's a different story to me. But like Jason Aldean, for instance, he's a pretty country guy. Like he's one of my favorite country artists. But he has a number of songs that have like 808s in it as the drums.
Mhm.
and they're like thumping. But the rest of the song is
plucking
a country beat. It uses instrumentation. It uses, guitars and whatever the fuck. So yeah, like in the other direction, but then you go back to like they're singing songs. It's about certain content, which I guess he's doing too. That's why I don't know. But I agree with Moti in the sense that, like, then there's just no genres, basically. There should just be, like, a chart.
Well, country, to me, seems like the only one that has, like, this. It has to be, like, this. Everything else is, like, blended. There's not really, you're a country artist. You can only do these kind of sounds. It's like everything is blended. Everything's, like, especially hip-hop. Hip-hop is like the most mixed up type shit with all types of, like I was just talking about Nappy Roots, like Bubba Sparks, like when fucking Nelly went on his country trip. I mean, what made him, I don't know where he was at on the country charts, but he had a country album, like quote unquote called it country, but he still had some shit on there that was like.
Yeah. I guess it would just come down to iTunes guidelines.
Well, it made it there is my thing.
Right.
So it's like,
which how does it even get on?
I don't
even know how that
I don't
works.
think iTunes has guidelines for that.
no, it was
Because
Billboard.
you can submit your music to whatever genre.
So
you
he
want
submitted it to the country.
his label, him or his
The
label or
Billboard
whatever.
charts.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I
And
didn't get
you
how
can
that
submit it whatever way that you want. But that's the thing is if it becomes popular, they're gonna analyze it to the point where they're gonna correct if it was wrong.
And I doubt
That's just weak to
the
me.
reason that it's first on the country charts, which doesn't matter though, but is because hip hop fans are listening to this shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Country fans aren't listening to Old Town Road and being like,
Well, and that's why the
this is
joke,
a fucking classic country.
the
song.
joke is like, dude, like,
It's like a
come on,
loophole.
man, like, you turn on that song and immediately, what kind of a feel do you get?
You bounce.
Yes, and you hear 808s, you hear all this shit, like you're like, this is a hip hop song, and like,
But I
that's like my, because here's the thing, you can have two arguments to me. You can have either we have to go off of a certain feel to a song and let the overwhelmingly biggest feel take over for that song and categorize it that way, or we get rid of genres and we just say there's either good music or there's bad music.
Yeah,
And that's it. Because otherwise we can't judge these things. Like there's so many different influences in all songs that you could say a certain song is 3 different genres and them be totally different because they take from each of them.
yeah.
And how are you supposed to even know which one you're supposed to pick?
I just don't think.
Because I think if you're being real with yourself, you listen to that song and you're like, hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it also sounds like there's some country in there.
There's
But
country
that's what I'm
elements,
saying
yeah.
though is you
But-
can pick. We
but that's what I'm
can
saying,
pick
though.
so many
So, like-
other elements.
So I can listen to like these country songs, and the only reason I hear these songs is because Dax plays them, and I'm like, what
Thank
the
God.
fuck is this? Like, and I'm like, this sounds like some fucking, like I don't know what this is. I thought this was country. This does not sound like any country I've ever heard.
What does it sound like?
Like fucking hip hop mix. Like
But if
they're
you
doing
heard it, what would you classify it as?
some country artist trying to do hip hop,
But
the beat is a hip hop beat. That's what I.
But what would? But if you heard it and you said what genre, what would you say?
I'd have to say some twangy fucking hip hop. That's the thing.
If twang is the first thing out of your mouth, you'd say country.
but that's what I'm saying.
But like we're talking about the beat is the first thing or like the feel. So if I hear some 808s, okay, I don't feel any kind of twang, and then I hear twang, I don't know what to feel. That's what I'm saying. Like it should be allowed to fucking, if we can't really describe it, or if it made it to the charts, if it's getting spun on like some country shit, then cool. But I mean, if it's just like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with them taking it.
Is it a ploy to top charts?
Well, that's
what I'm
what they
trying to
have to.
figure out.
That's what
Yeah.
they have to protect against.
Right.
Any fucking chart toppers are like, they're getting pushed, I would imagine, right? For the most part.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, you're
by like
going
labels and things like that.
Well,
Yeah.
you are, but we're talking about pool sizes though. Like your country pool is going to be smaller than your hip hop pool. You have more hip hop fans in the world than you do country.
well,
fans.
and if you can do both, that's even better.
right.
Yeah.
So
Hip hop is the most popular genre in the world.
Correct.
So you have more fans of that
Right.
genre.
Yeah.
So therefore, if it's a hip hop song, you're going to have more ears on that song.
Right. It's like I've seen, you know, certain records be not really shit on the hip hop charts, but then all of a sudden it's like huge on the like whatever gospel charts because it's such a smaller pool, and it's like that helps push the song then.
Well, it's the same reason why like we don't chart ever, but there are random times I'll get a notification from Apple that we're charting in the Netherlands at like 100.
Yeah, because it's
or
just
something
a smaller,
like that because it's small.
Yeah.
So like Lecrae, for instance.
Yeah.
His shit sounds like rap. Hip hop, rap, whatever, but his content's gospel type shit. So if he makes the charts on like some gospel stuff, even though it sounds like rap, and he's a rap artist, but like a Christian rap artist, should they take him down?
Yeah, and that's another one that I don't like. I don't really listen to gospel music, so
But
I don't really know
what
how
gospel sounds like, or you know the feel, kind of like.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
it's
I have a
slower,
Lecrae
but it's like-
song on my phone that's just
and
like
it
a
doesn't
rap.
sound like church, does it?
No, he
But-
just
is it on
he
the
just
gospel
doesn't
charts though, or is
swear.
it not?
Oh, I don't know.
But that's what I mean.
But
We'd
I'm
have
just
to like,
saying, though, right.
Yeah, we'd have to find
'Cause,
one
like-
that was on both and be like, you know, whatever.
I don't think he is. I
Like
think
it makes sense to me why country artists are incorporating rap or hip hop into their shit because it is the most popular
Yeah.
music in the world, and it's a universal feel.
That's what people have done from like the dawn of music. dude.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. The popular shit, just, you know,
Dude, remember
that's how you get.
Miley Cyrus's fucking run when
Yeah.
she hopped over for a second?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, whatever, like whatever's popular, people are gonna do, and whatever, and
But that's
yeah,
why I say though that like there's
isn't-
almost always an overwhelming feel to a song.
Well,
that you have to go off of as far as genre. If you're playing the genre game.
Well,
Okay.
that's
If you're
the thing.
playing the genre game.
I need to know what the fucking rules are, because then that's what I'm saying. Like if there's rules like it has to feel like this, has to sound like this, and this, like you can't have 808 in it, then I don't want to see a fucking country artist with some 808.
well,
shit
that's the
charting
problem with
the
music.
country
It's the
chart.
same thing with
don't-
it's the same thing with like litigating music in courts and stuff like that. Is it's literally impossible to set rules. Like, oh, if you put an 808 in it, it's this. Like, that's impossible. So it's always going to be a certain amount of subjective. So my question for you guys is, do you think it should at all be based on, because I would assume iTunes and Billboard, whatever, can get certain numbers and demographics on people that listen to country music. Are they listening to this?
Right.
Right.
And people that listen to hip hop, are they listening to this? Because even though I don't like the idea of what people listen to defining what a song is.
Right. Definitely
Like the
not.
song should define a song. But I also can't argue with the fact that that makes some sense. Like if 95, like this Lil Nas X song, if 98% of the fan base of that is hip hop,
And
like listens to hip hop on their own, like
Yes.
always listens to hip hop, and 2% listens to country, then to me, there's a little bit of proof in the pudding there.
Yeah, I think.
What number would make it
I don't know. Like,
less? Because 98 is pretty.
well,
steep,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. At least 75-25.
Yeah.
And that's just me, you know, throwing something out there. I don't know, but
And my thing, like, I'm just confused. Is like, if that's the case, and it very well could be, how the fuck does it get so high on like the country charts? You know what I mean?
because it's
Because
classified,
he
it's the
submitted
same
it
amount of
as-
plays, but it's classified as country. So it's all it is how many people are playing this and buying it and whatever. And then that number goes to the country charts and that number goes to the hip hop charts. And it's harder to chart in hip hop because there's so much more shit selling.
Yeah.
And
So
there's
like
less shit
this
selling.
dude has like a good following. Probably he's from Atlanta. Like I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I haven't looked at any of his other songs.
Shit seems like it's popping.
Yeah, I mean, so he's got this following or whatever, and he makes this like catchy ass song, but he submits it for country. So he's getting like his hip hop plays for country, correct? That's
Right.
pretty much what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. So,
So-
I mean, like,
It's not
And
it's not
I get
surprising
that.
at all that he charts
guess-
in country.
It's more, I guess it's more like, okay, he submits it and it's just like, okay, cool, you're in, and then we'll check it out later. That shit seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the
Well, because we have to remember what is the whole reasoning for classifying things as genres?
I have no idea.
Like it's literally for like
It's
the
for- it's-
analytics for the charting. Like
well, and for consumer.
well, but that's what I'm saying is like the categorization, the like
It's for consumers, so you know, like if you want to find new country music, that you if you go to country, you're finding
Right,
country
or I
music.
don't listen to country.
Yeah,
Analytics. Yeah.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is
I
like
can see
who
that.
decides what country is.
That's what I need to know.
I know, and
Like-
that's what's always it's always going to be subjective.
So, but it's the same thing as it's any art though. Like who decides whether or not something is a type of painting or not, or what? Whatever.
Well, and that's
like,
what brings up an interesting
There's
conversation. Is like you have this Lil Nas X song, and obviously there's a certain contrast between hip hop and country, and this one like stands out. But yeah, it opens up like we can talk about that, and whatever we feel about that song, it does open up the conversation of I don't know how many songs are out there charting on multiple charts, and should they be? I have no idea.
I don't either.
And I guess that's just a question like, are they being consistent with whatever their rules are? I have no clue.
See, that's the thing is like the question is who judges. There are people that is their job to do this shit.
Yeah. Do you think it's people or not? It's got to be people with that if they take it off. Because I would have thought an algorithm, but if they actually go take it off, that's got to be people.
It's
Well, and
people.
the people had to set up an algorithm.
Right.
It's people, but it's because the thing is you have to. This has been established before, like streaming services and things like this.
Yeah.
Like it's certain things that like they have well-respected people in these genres that deem whether or not like, and there might be fellow musicians that like are just respected in their genres, and they're just like
It's the same like Grammy fucking voters.
I mean, it's the thing like, dude, we're judging art. Like, you can't really do it. So, and if you have to, there's going to be some things that don't make 100% sense because they can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to the eye of the beholder that there's no way that everybody's going to be happy with whatever rules that they come up with.
Well, and I guess so. Then it's just us personally. And as far as this Lil Nas X song goes, if to me the best I can do, because it's all subjective, is play it and what genre do I put it in?
Yeah.
Just I can't necessarily even explain to you. Well, I heard this instrument, so like what do you feel? And I feel with the 30 seconds I heard of that song, I felt hip hop.
Yeah.
Like what if you got all the top 5 most respected country artists in the world in a room, and you played that song and you were like, is this country?
Well, and there's some like, didn't Billy Ray Cyrus say it should be on the country charts?
Yeah.
Like there's some country, and he's obviously a huge
but that's
country
what
head.
I'm saying. It's each person's gonna be completely different. What if you have like all old heads like Dolly Parton and fucking a bunch of old heads, and they're like they have a traditional country.
Yeah, they're not going to want to
They
hear
may
any
not
type
even
of trap
approve of the
shit on
country
that.
that's out right now.
Right.
Yeah, they probably. A lot of them don't probably.
But my
that's
thing
why
is,
it's never perfect.
But my
Yeah.
thing for this song, like whatever, I don't really care. I just don't think that. I don't have a problem with it being on both charts. That's my thing. I don't think that.
This guy is his other shit same type of feel, or
I
is
don't
it
know.
one
I
or the
thought that
other?
was the only song that I heard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know though.
look.
Does he have like a challenge? Because they did some shit like that at the basketball game. At
No,
The
it's
Hawks?
just like
yeah.
it's just that hot shit. So everybody's fucking down.
Well, they played in
Texas
the
Tech
fucking
plays it at,
cheerleaders are hitting that shit.
Yeah, I think there's some dance or some shit.
Yeah.
Well, that would also
Texas Tech plays that shit after they win. It's fucking fire.
that would also tell me something like, again, another criteria where I wouldn't want to judge it off this, because I do think someone could go make 10 fucking hip hop songs and then decide to go make a country song. I think that's totally fine. But I do think that's a fair thing when it's a 50-50 toss up. If your whole last album was hip hop and then you came out with this,
I think
I'm going to err on the hip.
Yeah.
Just like if some big country star that's charted on the country charts, all of a sudden decided he came out with a hip hop record that had a country feel, but had a few elements of
Justin
hip hop,
Timberlake.
whatever. Yeah, like that fucking, what's his last album?
Man of the Woods.
I don't
Man of
even
the Trash.
remember what the feel of that was, except for garbage.
That shit was all types of mixed up type shit. That was like 808s and twangs and strings.
Yeah,
and
but yeah, I would
Shania
say the same
Twains.
thing if like who's a popular country artist? Jason
Yeah.
Aldean, Eric Church. If he all of a sudden was like just made a fucking hip hop record, I would be like, no, you fucking didn't.
But but if he did, you'd expect to hear some guitars and shit, and you'd expect to hear it to be like some type of fusion.
Right, and then that would be an interesting question on like,
Because then it's like, this is a country artist.
yeah, is this just a garbage hip hop record, or is it?
Well, I would immediately
I know, yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
go back to like, are they trying to find a loophole?
Yeah.
Which
Well,
like maybe he was. I don't know.
Well,
maybe he
also-
wasn't.
which this day and age, there
and
is
that
a
was
lot
pretty
more
smart.
advantage
maybe
to that.
he's not, or the artist isn't, but the label is.
Well, okay, is this a simple solution? Could they just say you can only have one genre?
I mean, they could, but that would upset artists because it's like, you can't keep me in a box. I can make whatever I want.
You can make whatever you want, though, but
And
we can
if
put it in a genre.
That's the thing, though.
Well, who owns the genre? Does the artist own the genre?
Nobody
No one
owns
owns
the
the genre,
genre,
so
but-
that's why there's no answer to this.
But that's what I'm saying though is like
Who decides the genre? Are you saying?
and technically that would be the owner of the genre. Is like if you're deciding the genre, you own the
Sure,
genre.
I just don't like the word owning it.
But
No.
my point is like, yes, the
You're like a
artist is
gatekeeper.
free to create whatever they want. And that's why it goes back to what is the point of the genre?
Right,
Is
because
it
we
to
could
please
just-
the artist?
Right,
or
because
is it to,
because you could just go put every song ever out there, and that would be shitty for the consumer.
Right.
So iTunes or whatever, or Billboard or whoever not created, but I don't know who created it, but at some point genres were started to organize that shit.
Right.
And so yeah, like I guess that would be my question is why don't we just have to choose a genre? Yeah. Like, dude, I've probably made some records that like maybe should technically be like R&B or like whatever. But like you got to pick one.
Right.
It's not going to be perfect.
And because to me, like the genre is just pretty much from what we've been all saying here is there to help the consumer know what the heck he's going to like and what he's not going to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, dude, I could fucking go back and forth this shit. all
There's
day.
probably reasons that they let you pick multiple too. Like I'm
That's
sure
what
if
I
there
was
was
gonna
someone
say.
that does this shit and I
There's-
was like, why not just pick one? They'd be like, well, because of this.
Well, yeah, I feel like, and you should be able to fucking climb charts if people are interested, but I don't know.
The
comes down to,
accessibility is too easy
It comes
this
down
day
to
and age.
Billboard or chart making motherfuckers. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
Those are the people that approve whatever's coming in to get to this chart, right?
And yeah, that's what it could be a never ending debate because
It is a
it's
never-ending.
never going to be like there's no way you can just okay, these are the rules for this genre. It's just impossible.
Well, and they kind of try
Yeah.
to do that right now, and it's like
you have to though. Like if you're going to put them in genres,
But that's
you gotta,
what I'm saying though.
yeah.
Do it better.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is very vague. Their statement, the Billboard statement was
I didn't even read it.
they had one on Genius and they had one on I think like I don't know. Rolling Stone.
Did they say fuck y'all? We own genres.
No, he said, well,
We invented genres.
well. I let him in the club, but now you got to leave.
It's been a long pod. You guys got any topics we didn't get to? Kristaps Porzingis tore his ACL and then decided to go sexually assault someone.
Yeah,
apparently.
shit. He got
Same night.
time. He's just
Really?
frustrated, okay? He just no, I'm fucking.
I didn't hear that.
People gonna do this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
he's
I don't know
getting
any.
hot water.
I don't know
Same
anything
night,
about.
I heard he sexually assaulted, but same night that he tore his ACL.
I'm almost positive. Same like hours after.
He's like, I'm out for the season. Fuck, dude.
This is all.
Come here.
This is all alleged. I don't really know the details.
Never
but
tore my ACL, but that seems difficult.
That's
He's
what some
gonna-
people are saying.
I
But
was
then
gonna
it's
say that they're gonna blame the fucking medication.
well,
I was
yeah.
so sleepy.
Some people are saying that, like, and then some people are saying, "How the hell is he gonna do this? Like, why is this on his mind if he like just tore his ACL?" But and then there's also like, well, that doesn't mean that it can't happen
Fuck
either.
Right.
no, that's some
No.
dumb shit.
Right. So
People are. Some,
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But apparently, like the Knicks informed the Mavs of this, like, kind of going on in the background when the trade was made.
Mark
so.
Cuban said, "Pfft, I got you, dog.
He said,
We do
no.
that shit here.
He said, "No problem, bro."
We're going by the push here."
It was another 7'5" white guy.
I hope Dirk doesn't have any scandals. I like him.
Yeah, Dirk's a G. It's too bad those three aren't like the same, or at least like that Dirk didn't have a little more time.
That'd be a sick fucking duo.
Yeah.
Should Wade retire or
Trio.
should he keep playing?
Trio. I don't know. Why I said-
Wade,
Mm-hmm. He's balling.
he already said he's retiring, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Because
then
Dirk
start
still
going
hasn't
off.
officially said he's retired.
Yeah, he will.
They keep sending him on his.
the farewell tour.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Wade. I think he's going at the right time,
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think
especially
about
with
the
the
Braves?
Heat. Everyone's going with the Braves now, bro. How about Tim Duncan?
Yo,
Most swag he's ever had in his
Killmonger.
life at Manu's retirement joint.
Yo, that shit was crazy.
Well, that's about all I had, folks.
Yeah.
Moti, anything to add?
Nothing.
Any topics we didn't get to?
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
R.I.P. man. just like last week, there'll probably be a bunch of shit that happens tomorrow. I feel like, dude, I literally got home from the podcast and saw that women's dunk contest thing last week, and I was like, fuck. And it's gonna be so irrelevant by next week. But
I didn't know what the fuck you was talking about. Oh, this shit from last week.
God. All right.
National ship next fucking week.
Yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. Go Green, baby. Big weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next week.
Hey.